Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Johns, and welcome back to another edition of Studio Talk. Recently, I got a question from a viewer asking, am I the right kind of engineer for the right style of music? Let's get to it. Okay. So I want to say thank you to the viewer who sent that question in, because I think it's a good question that requires quite a bit of consideration. You know, I think obviously those of us who are into this have a passion for recording music, have a passion for mixing music, and really see that as a reward for the skill sets that we've learned in our journey. For some of us, it's doing it with our own music. I think for many of us, it's probably starting with us trying to write and record our own music to get to that polished end result that we're hoping to achieve. For others, it's simply just a passion for recording and being involved in the creative process. There are plenty of people out there that record and mix that are not musicians, okay, but they have a great appreciation for it, and they understand the genres that they're working in. You know, historically, if you go back in the beginning stages of things, you know, back into the 60s and to some degree the 70s, you know what? If you were an engineer and you know, as well as someone who mixed the projects, more than likely you found yourself doing different styles of music. But I would argue back then the styles of music were not that greatly varied. You know, take a look at somebody like Glenn Johns as an example, who worked with the Beatles, who worked with the Eagles, who worked with, I believe, The Who, worked with Eric Clapton, worked with the Rolling Stones. There's pretty much not anybody that guy didn't work with back during that time frame. And it didn't really matter what style of music from one to the other, because they were just kind of laying the foundation for understanding even how to do that. And the technology grew even back in the 70s at an advanced rate. From starting out with 4 tracks, by the time the 80s get here, we're able to sync up two 24 tracks, tape machines together and get 48 tracks. So obviously a lot of the possibilities opened up quite a bit there. My take on it is, if you're going to try to do it for a living, you know, try to do the best you can to be well-rounded. To be able to get in and deal with different styles of music. But to be honest with you, that's going to require some appreciation for that music to truly get in there and learn it, because there is so many differences. Let's take, for example, you know, let's take rap, hip hop, whatever you want to call it. And let's take EDM music as an example. Both those styles of music are heavily bass oriented. Okay. Being able to master the art of the subharmonic frequencies is really critical, and finding that balance to get the most, to be able to get the drive and the power that you're looking for to get from that style of music. You know, whereas if you're recording a jazz band, it's completely different. You know, everything changes somewhat there too. And you find that the fewer instruments you have, even the more skilled you have to be at properly balancing, mixing, and EQing and doing all the things you need to do to get it right. So, you know, my experience tells me that if you really want to try to be a jack of all trades, then you're really going to have to get as much exposure to all of those different styles as you can. I have a video that I did early on, and it's one of the most least viewed videos, which I don't understand. It's probably, in my opinion, probably one of the best advices you can get from my channel back then. But part of that video was about get out there and get exposed to as many different styles of music as you can, even if it's music you don't like, okay? Try to get as much exposure to it as you can. Offer your services for free just to test the waters, to see if you can do that or not, to see what you may be lacking, or affirm what you may be doing well, okay? So I think probably getting as much exposure to the different styles of music as possible is going to make you way more well-rounded. The mistake, I won't call it a mistake, the circumstances that many of us fall into is we're all writing and recording our own music, or not all of us. Many of us are writing and recording our own music that tends to fall in a particular genre that we like. That's what most of us are probably doing that are involved in the writing as well as the recording aspect of things. So we can get stuck into that particular way of thinking, that mindset. If you go back and you look historically from the 80s on, most of the recording engineers and the mix engineers did find themselves into certain genres of music to where they excelled. whether it's Dave Pensado, Chris Lord-Alge, so many others out there that do a fantastic job of mixing and recording. So, you know what? If you want to really do that, then you need to put yourself out there. If you're not willing to do that, then why are you worrying about it? I would say if you don't have any experience in it, be careful before you charge someone to do it. Get good at that before you do that. It's a good question. How viable is that question today? I don't know. I think it's probably a smaller group of folks out there that are trying to be able to be a recording engineer, to be able to record different bands in different situations. And again, the more experience you can get with those styles, the more important that is. For example, trying to dial in a guitar tone for a metal band is vastly different than trying to get that guitar tone for, a country band, as an example. The way you go about it, what you're listening for, what you're trying to get, the way you're going to EQ it, all those things change. And if you don't have experience in working with those, then you're probably going to have a hard time. Now, here's where you can get a great experience with mixing different genres of music. If you go over to Produce Like a Pro, I think it's like $100 for an annual subscription or something like that. And if you're learning, I think that's a great way to do it, because there you can get multi-tracks from various styles of music that you can practice on. So go grab some of those, start mixing, start practicing, and then compare them. I think he has a great community over there for people learning the art of mixing, and I highly recommend him. I think that's a great forum, and it's a positive forum. So I really like that. So if you really want to get into learning as much as you can, then you've got to get exposure to it. Keep in mind, that's a mixing aspect of it. I would say that the recording aspect of these things, the typical historical engineering aspect, is not going to change that much. It will in certain instruments and the way you approach it and the sound you're looking for, but that's why it's always a good idea to have that sound in your head before you start recording so you know what you're trying to accomplish. That's true of any style of music, okay? And I'm thinking specifically like a snare drum sound or something like that. It's a very identifiable thing that you really should have worked out before you even start recording, at least have an idea what you're looking for there. So, can one engineer be a jack of all trades? Can be decent at it. Is he or she necessarily going to master any one of those? Maybe not. Maybe not. I think fine-tuning your skill set and finding something where you have the most passion is probably where you stand the greatest chance of having the most success. But who knows? Maybe you can be the exception to the rule. But again, get out there and practice. Get exposure to as much many different varieties of music out there as you can. Try what I talk about. Download some of those sessions from Produce Like a Pro. If you want to go down that route, you can try so many different styles of music that route, and that's a great way to practice. Okay, so hopefully this gave you some insight in there as at least the things to consider. This is one of those subjects. It's not an easy check yes or no. It's not black and white. It's very subjective, and it depends on the skill set of the individual, the passion of the individual, the aptitude of the individual, so many other things that come into play, the creativity, so many other things that come into play. So you kind of have to take a 30,000 square foot or a 30,000 foot view down on this, or a bigger picture, instead of trying to get into it and micro analyze it. Okay, so if you like the things I talk about in this channel, do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and then find your way over to that notification bell. I appreciate it. That way you know when I got new videos out. This was an interesting question, so it's an interesting topic. So please do me a favor, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think about this subject. Tell me what your experience has been. And if you agree or you disagree with me, this is one of those things you won't hurt my feelings if you disagree with me on. It's all cool, okay? Because like I said, this one's a hard question to answer. So until next time, I hope every one of you have a great day. Goodbye.